Hey guys, how's it going? I just got home for the weekend from college. Usually I only post my music on here. I thought that I would take a little bit of time and show you my vinyl collection. I don't think this was going to be like an edited video or anything. I'm not going to get super detailed about the albums. I figured I would just go through and show you the stuff I have. Maybe you think it's cool, maybe you hate it. Either way, if you want to comment about it, it kind of boosts my place in the algorithm, so I'm not going to complain. Alright, so first off, right here is Hell 1 from the band Hell. Forgive me, I'm probably going to turn this the wrong way a bunch of times as I record this. So I got this as part of a reissue a couple years ago, along with Hell 2, which is right here, significantly longer, bulkier record. Those are both gray. Then not too long after, I also got a copy of Hell 3. I keep moving it the wrong way, sorry about that. So yeah, I have those three, and then I also have this sampler 7-inch from Hell. Just has 2 songs on it from the self-titled record. I really need to get this self-titled record, speaking of which. So let's move on from there. Right here, I have Blut aus Nord's Disharmonium Undreamable Abysses. This came out a few years ago. It was one of my favorite albums of that year, I believe 2022. It's a super cool record, very dark and dense. Gotta love that artwork as well. It's very, very Lovecraftian, super awesome. Alright, up next, oh boy, I can't wait to see the response to this one. This is Lorna Shore's Flesh Coffin. Before they broke out, I was a huge fan of Lorna Shore. This is the album I found them through. I really liked their early stuff. I saw them at least once back then, and a couple times afterwards, and after the whole TikTok craze, they kind of lost me. Not like an elitism thing, but I just got sick of hearing To the Hellfire every 5 minutes. But I dig this album. I think it has a cool, like, actual blackened sound to it, and yeah, I sort of miss that sound. It's very, like, grand and produced now, whereas back then it was much more raw and kind of simple. Alright, here's some more blackened deathcore, but this is Velda by Humanity's Last Breath. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing the Swedish wrong, but I think that's right. This is a great blackened deathcore record. This is how you do this stuff right. I think HLB is one of the best bands in the genre. I got this directly through Unique Leader, if I remember correctly. It's a double vinyl. It has a pretty cool, like, silver splatter pattern on it. Yeah, it's cool. Their new record's great too, Ashen. Alright. Oh boy, another controversial artist, although I never understood the hate that she got. This is Merkur's Folkazanga, which came out, I believe, in 2021? Maybe it was 2022, I don't recall. But this was my favorite album of that year. I really like Nordic folk music, and this album just, like, really struck a chord for me, no pun intended. I love it. I still love it. The pattern on the record is really cool. I don't know if it'll show up too well in the camera. It actually does. Yeah, it has like this eggshell blue and green finish on it. It's very cool. So yeah, love that one. Alright, next we have 2 records. One of my favorite artists of all time. This is Emma Ruth Rundle's Engine of Hell right here. Just a normal black vinyl. And my favorite album of hers, one of my favorite albums ever, Marked for Death right here. This is in a, like, gray finish, if I remember correctly. Let me get it out, because I actually haven't looked at it in a while. Yep, it's like a platinum gray kind of color. Very, very good album. I think that it's singer-songwriter music at some of its best. It's really dark, it's heavy, great stuff. Let me get this back in the sleeve real quick, my apologies. Oh my, okay, there we go. Alright, next we have a two-part EP. This is Mournful Congregation with the Exuvee of Gods. This is part 1 right here, and part 2 is sitting right here. I absolutely love this band. They're my favorite funeral doom band. Honestly, like, a big reason that I have this project in the first place. I owe a lot to these guys. Great band. Highly recommend these two EPs, they call them, but they're both like 40 minutes long. They're albums. Alright, next up we have Seor with Origins. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Honestly, I don't know. This is a pretty cool, like, folky black metal record. Honestly, I bought it on kind of a whim when it came out, but it's a good album. Got it through Season of Mist. I guess it's limited as well. Only 500 copies worldwide, so that's pretty cool. Let me move on to the second pile here. Try not to stack everything on top of each other. Alright, up next, this is Collapse from Whorehound. This is a local band to me. They actually broke up semi-recently, but have formed several other doom projects that are also great. This record was among my favorites in 2023, right? I believe that was right. It doesn't say on here. Either way, it's a great doom metal album if you're into like sludgy riffs, but it's also atmospheric, so it doesn't fall like too much into the Black Sabbath ripoff territory. Really good stuff. Whorehound, Collapse. Check it out. Alright. Next we have Nova by Sylvain. This was one of my favorite albums that year as well. It was also 2023. Or was it? No, it's 2022. My bad. Yeah, I absolutely love this album. Sylvain, I think, is maybe the best artist in the whole post-black metal kind of scene. Her voice is just stunning, and the production on this album is fantastic. It's super lush and natural. I think she just does it incredibly well, and this album is super consistent, really good. Alright, here, which I'm probably going to have to actually take this out of the sleeve, this is The Land is Inhospitable and So Are We by Mitski. I think I got that title right. Yeah, you can see it right there. It was a gift from a friend of mine. Shout out to her. I think this is a great album. I think that came out in 2023, that's right. And that was really when I started to try to get into other genres of music more. And I really hit it off with that album. It just has a really, really nice, lush sound to it. The songwriting's good. It's just a very sweet album. Don't have to think too hard about it. Mitski's voice is great. Okay. Next we have Entheos' Time Will Take Us All. As you can see, oh, wrong finger, up here. It is actually signed by their vocalist, Chaney Crab. Shout out to her. She's one of the coolest people ever. I've met her. I end up talking to her like every time we go see them. She's the best. Absolutely love her. Incredible vocalist as well. But this album's awesome. Some really great progressive technical death metal. You could argue that some parts of it are kind of deathcore-y because they have like breakdowns and stuff, but it's really hard to put them in a box. They have a really cool sound, and I've followed them for years. I saw them, the first time I guess was way back in 2017, and they were just kind of getting started as Entheos at that point. They'd played in other bands, but yeah, I've loved them since. So yeah, I go to see them every time they come around. This album's awesome. Shout out Cheney. Let's move on. Alright, next we have Fit for an Autopsy's Oh What the Future Holds. As you can see down here, is signed by their vocalist Joe Bad. I got this at one of their shows. Same with the Entheos record, actually. I got that at a show as well. But I've had this for a few years. I have to show you this design on this vinyl because it is ridiculous. Look at this blue, green, and black splatter. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, Fit for an Autopsy, again, one of the few deathcore bands that I think really holds up still. They're always way more concerned about the songs that they make instead of going over the top with breakdowns or vocal techniques or whatever. No, Joe's a great vocalist, don't get me wrong, but at least the Lorna Shore effect has not hit Fit for an Autopsy, and I'm thankful for that. Alright, last in this pile is Deceivers by Arch Enemy. Honestly, I'm gonna flat out say it, I bought this on a whim right after the album came out because I was really excited about the album, and then I listened to it a few more times and then was just kind of like lukewarm on it. Like, it's pretty good mellow death record, but there's really nothing more to say about that one. It's still cool to have. Let's move on. We're getting into some crazy stuff here. Alright, this is Artificial Brain's self-titled record. I got this through Profound Lore. This would have also been 2023, I believe. You gotta see the design on this one as well. It's in like 14 layers of plastic and cardboard. I don't know how much you can see it through the plastic. Let me take it out. Yeah, has this really sick blue splatter vinyl. Looks incredible. Awesome album, by the way. Artificial Brain, one of the most creative death metal bands out there right now. They have a super cool sound. Let me get this away. Apologies for the crinkling plastic. I might have to just leave this go. Okay, never mind, we're good. Okay, so yeah, that's a great record. Absolutely love that band. I'm telling you, dissonant death metal is the come-up genre of the next couple years. I think some of the most creative things in the genre are happening in dissonant and avant-garde death metal. Even though I traditionally make doom, I think that's where most of the creative stuff is happening, and honestly, those bands inspire me a ton. Speaking of doom, this is a band called The Answer Lies in the Black Void. The vocalist you may know from Thy Catafalque, but she's the lead singer of this band, also a vocal coach. She has an absolutely incredible voice. I mean, some of the most ridiculous vocal chops I think I've ever heard. And I really love this band. They have a very like atmospheric, ethereal kind of sound. I've always been searching for bands that fill the void of Trees of Eternity, and this is not the same vibe. In fact, it's a bit different, but it almost comes close enough. But whatever they sound like, it's excellent gothic doom metal. Highly recommend The Answer Lies in the Black Void. Alright, what's next here? Oh, more gothic doom metal. So This is Tribunal's debut album, The Weight of Remembrance. I can't remember if I bought this one on the side or got it when I saw them. I think I got it when I saw them. And let me just tell you, Tribunal, some of the coolest people ever. I met the entire band when I saw them live, and they were some of the nicest people ever. They had even came up to me and personally talked to me because I did a guitar cover of one of their songs, and the band was freaking out about it because they were still very small at the time. I guess they still are, admittedly, so go listen to them. But yeah, they viewed the guitar cover that I posted and were so excited about it. It was so awesome. And yeah, here is the pattern on the vinyl. It's this strange white and gold splatter. I love it. Apologies, I'm a little shaky. I haven't talked on camera in a very long time. But yeah, support Tribunal. They're super cool. If they come around, go see them live. Put on a great show. I really love their sound. It's pretty reminiscent of early 90s Gothic Doom, like My Dying Bride, but I really, really love the classical influence that they add. Their vocalist also plays cello. Well, I should say, if two vocalists, my bad. The woman, her name is Seren, she plays cello in the band as well, and it just adds such a cool layer to that Doom sound. Absolutely recommended. Oh man, we got a good trilogy coming up here. So, up next, I have one of my all-time favorite artists, again, as I was telling you with Ruth Rundle before. This is the 3 primary studio albums from Lingua Ignota. This is All Bitches Die, which took me a very long time to find. I had to wait until Perpetual Flame Ministries repressed it, and it is in a very, very bright hot pink. Great album, such an excellent start for her, for Kristen. I would say, I don't know if it's her most abrasive. I guess Caligula is her most abrasive, which I will get to Caligula in a second. I'm just going to set this aside instead of sitting here and putting them away on camera. Alright, so speaking of which, here is Caligula. This is a double vinyl. I believe I got this off of Profound Lore, so I think this is an old copy of this record. I believe the discs are in just this very bright red. Yeah, that they are. It's very hard to see because my room is red. Yeah, again, Caligula, incredible album, arguably even better than All Bitches Die, which was already a great start. But this album is noisier, it's more blunt and abrasive, it's longer, just fantastic album. And of course, if you know who Lingua Ignota is, chances are you're going to know that Sinner Get Ready is an absolute masterpiece. It was my favorite album of 2021, just an absolutely incredible, harrowing experience. Even though it's less noisy than the last two, it's perfect, honestly. It's one of my few 10 out of 10 records. I think I would also include Marked for Death in that list, but Sinner Get Ready, Lingua Ignota as a whole, incredible. Highly recommended to anyone who hasn't heard her. Alright, keeping with noise a little bit, this is Euboa's Impossible Light. I just recently got this. Very new album, one of my favorites of 2024. Just absolutely crazy blend of sounds. It's a super experimental album. I really like. I struggle to even find the words to say about it, but it's really great. Comes in this very cool blue vinyl, which I am struggling to show on camera. You can kind of see the color there. But fantastic record. I love you, Boa. I think she has a very, very creative take on noise and on experimental music in general. Production's fantastic. Yeah. Let's keep moving. What do I got here? Alright. Here's another new one. This is N by Ivor. Faroese folk pop musician. I really don't exactly know what to call her, but her voice is amazing. She writes really cool songs that mix very old singing styles with very modern production. Yeah, I love her sound. I think this is maybe her best album yet, and highly recommend you check that one out as well. If I remember correctly, all of these albums left are from last year. Okay, so here is Ig Framand, the new EP from Sylvain. She kind of abandoned her post-black metal sound here and went strictly for dark folk, and I think it worked beautifully. This EP is absolutely stunning. I've listened to it so many times since it came out, and it's just such like an ethereal, comforting listen. I love it. I've put it on so many times. Alright, sorry guys, I just had to cut for a second. I was needed downstairs. So, I have like 4 records left. Just go through and show you those now. Right here we have Full of Hell with Coagulated Bliss. It's kind of hard to say. It's a super cool album. Full of Hell is usually known for making extremely dark, like blackened death grind, whereas this album has a lot more of a hardcore focused sound, I would say, and even the grind stuff has a much less dark twist to it. However, there are also elements of industrial and sludge metal in here, which I think is super cool. Very experimental album. I think it's great, so I had to pick it up. Alright. Next we have my favorite album of 2024, which would be She Reaches Out to She Reaches Out to She by Chelsea Wolfe. I absolutely love Chelsea Wolfe. She is, again, one of my favorite albums. One of my favorite artists of all time, and I'm not entirely sure yet because this could be recency bias. I might have to say that this is her best album to date. I absolutely love the sound palette on this thing. It's a mix of her usual dark wave sound with trip hop elements, and occasionally there's also like kind of metal sounding stuff on here. I would say it's a very heavy record despite not really being a metal album. So She Reaches Out to She Reaches Out to She by Chelsea Wolfe. Fantastic album. Amazing lyrics, great like vocal melodies and harmonies. The production's fantastic. It's just an excellent album all around, and it's really special to me. So, yeah. All right. 2 more. Right here, and the contrast of these last 2 albums is going to be hilarious. So, right here is Pharmacon's new album, Maggot Mass. I have liked Pharmacon for a while. I think that she has a really interesting take on the noise genre with her kind of rhythmic, death industrial kind of sound. And personally, I think that this record is probably her best. It's her most lyrically focused album, really bringing her vocals forward, and she has a lot to say about overconsumption and greed and just a lot of hatred for humanity, and it's kind of valid, and it's very awesome. At times, I would say that this even has the most normal song structure of maybe any noise record I've ever heard. Like, Methanol Doll, I believe it is, like, actually has a chorus. So, very cool album. If you need an intro to noise, I would say that this is actually a pretty good place to start. So, let's get to my last album, and you are going to laugh. Get ready with your pitchforks. I'm about to have my Metalhead card revoked. This is Dua Lipa live at the Royal Albert Hall. I will admit right here, at the risk of you all unsubscribing, that I love Dua Lipa's music. I think, as far as modern pop goes, I really do see her as a creative artist. I think that, and I even think at times that because of her record ties, her creativity actually gets stifled a bit. And what I love about this live record here is that she played with an absolutely massive orchestra and a live band. I believe there were like 7 or 8 people in the live band, as well as, 40-something orchestra members. It was huge. And that's very much reflected in the music. This album, it just sounds grand and powerful and emotional. It's really, really cool, and even some of the songs on it have like different added parts to them that they do in the studio versions or whatever. So yeah, screw it. I like Dua Lipa. This live album's awesome. And yeah, that's my vinyl collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was, kind of a primitive way to record things, but I don't feel the need to get flashy or add Subway Surfers gameplay to hope that you guys stay occupied and attentive while I talk. But I hope you dug what I had to say. Maybe you found an album or two that you want to go home and listen to, and I'll see you guys around. I might potentially start doing album reviews on here. I haven't fully decided yet, but if you've watched this far and that's maybe something you want to see, let me know down below. Have a good one, guys. Take care of yourselves.